I married a very strong woman. I try to figure out how to model for my children, and I learn from my children also what it means to be male today and to find your place in the family hierarchy. Most of my students are actually women, and many of my students are transgender and in between, and defined in all kinds of ways in which I never knew one could define myself. And I think feminism to me is a constant challenge to keep myself open and to be responsive to the person that is in front of me. So I think feminism is an important corrective for me in reminding me that the assumptions I walk around with about how to behave, how to respond, how to listen, how to interact, cannot be taken for granted. I have to be open to being criticized and to change my ways. I teach religious studies, as I said, and mostly Western religions, so Judaism, Christianity, Islam. And at some point back in the 90s, I got very interested in the question of Judaism and gender. Mostly because I was fascinated by the question of the gender of God. So it's going back to people like Hannah Wolf in Germany, who made it very clear that from a feminist perspective, the deity, or from a Christian feminist perspective, the Jewish deity is very problematic because it seems to be an overbearing male. And so I was interested in exploring feminine sides of God, of the biblical deity, and also the obscuring of a female counterpart to the deity, because monotheism doesn't start as monotheism, it becomes monotheism, so it has a lot to do with the eclipse of the divine female. And so I introduced a course on gender and Judaism just because I was curious. At the time, this was not very much in favor at my university. The president at the time, for him, feminism was a kind of a red flag, and I didn't have tenure. And people said, you should keep a low profile. But I just enjoyed it much too much to pay any attention, so I introduced the course, and it's been with me ever since. So as I teach Jewish studies and philosophy of religion, I'm trying to pay attention to feminism as or to the problematic side of the biblical monotheistic tradition, and feminism has helped me to focus in on this question.